Lama Chöpa, Adelia, Lamalia, Kuson, Tosum, India, Lamiki, India, and Jimbo Kone, Lamalia, Sodipsheda, and Lamiki, Ranlia, Gijinchimbo, Jinchimbo, Kone, some Najes, and then Lamalia, Sodipchedi, the Korans, kissing the Judiare.
Good evening. So we're continuing to look at the section which started at verse 43, recalling the kindness of one's Lama, and thereafter the qualities of his body, speech, and mind.
Lui Tiawada, Simkiwa, and Jawa Chimainea, and Jike, Diansambo Toyada, Di Tianela Dikuya, and Di Mazen, Tarbata, Temjikimbo, Toyagi, Dusine, Dangazuki, Guedid Yamnache, Dijo to Jigore, that Dijabala, Zuki, Samli Tone, and the Jangdor Cheche, Gom Yamnache, and the Gawasa, Tipo Ponche, Gawa Drupche, and they did Dikitu or Madashem. Chasa dingi dewa druptoya mebare. Chisa dana sem gi tone ane samlu tone gom digwa ponya dan gewa dhruya gom nyamna chedi dana zuji jebala an jik ya lopchi chikhen lama chikli ya gewe shin chile dinghu warwa chisa lama dizane. Chisa lama dizane chu shu dine tueba che tuebe duandela sam ane gom chene dus chene nga zuge korwe dungal zhuya di yung gore. Dine inza dana zulya Lamden chicken, Lama de Pemasegi, that gay chimbo chita, and the Ranlia, getting chimbo, that gin chimbo in Baji, when you win is already chadure. The name is Adangazugi, the Samdi Tone in a Lama de gin chimbo in Bata, getting chimbo in Bata, then the Negi, Lamiki, Kusun, Tusum, Indian Jange, then Lamegi, gin chimbo, Lama getting chimbo in Balia, and the Jig Jambi Tone, Lamalia, sort of Shuedi, Duschene, Yungorwa.
It's good to remind ourselves of the reason why we reflect on the kindness of the Lama and his qualities, why this is such an important part of the practice. We all want happiness and want to be freed of pain and suffering. There's no difference between beings on this regard. And between the choice of temporary happiness or the happiness that is lasting and stable, in other words, not punctuated by even the slightest discontent or discomfort, everyone chooses happiness that is lasting and stable. So this is the case for all beings, ourselves included. We desire happiness that is lasting and stable, but that is something that's not readily available. We need to cultivate the required causes, and whilst striving to cultivate those causes to achieve lasting, stable happiness, we will make do with temporary happiness. In fact, we'll be quite happy to receive and experience happiness, even if it is transitory, and especially if we're doing also in experiencing temporary happiness, confident that we are accumulating the causes that will lead to long-term happiness. So how does one do so? How does one achieve a state of lasting happiness, the state of liberation and enlightenment? In brief, it's to accumulate vast stores of virtue, and whilst doing so, purify non-virtue and ensure we don't accumulate any further non-virtue. This, in brief, is the method. And how does one achieve that? Through transforming our mind into a mind that is wholly virtuous, freed of non-virtue. To say this is quite easy. To understand how to do so, as well as not just merely having that knowledge, but also the determination to transform what we prioritize, so that we strive wholeheartedly in every moment to cultivate virtue and purify our mind, we need a Lama. We need a teacher who illuminates the path that we are to cultivate. Someone who is has both aspects of a spiritual teacher and a spiritual mentor. Someone who imparts the knowledge that we require, as well as embodies the example we strive to emulate. And through both the imparting of knowledge and setting of an example, we start this process of inner transformation. And as we come to see experientially what is possible that we ourselves can achieve, we will strive ever more to cultivate the Dharma within us. But this requires, at the very heart, a qualified teacher. It's a teacher who can perfectly impart the knowledge and guide us through his example and through his training in how we ourselves need to strive to develop. So therefore, at the very heart of the path, to achieve the goal of liberation and enlightenment, we require a teacher. And reflecting on this, we come to see his great kindness and his qualities. And therefore, we are in this section looking at that, because this is recognizing his role as the very foundation of the path. We will value him greatly, and thereby, through that inspiration, strive to transform ourselves.
Chökyi Phungam Geshe Yanlanam Geshe Ringa Yun Sambadang Chuyu Ombyo Rangshin Chosumye Danyen Lama Chöpa Sowa Debse.
Come now to the 50th verse at the top of page 9. Your aggregates, elements, sources and limbs are in nature the Sugatas and consorts of the 5 lineages, bodhisattvas and wrathful protectors. Supreme Guru, in nature the 3 jewels, I make requests to you.
Tesa Lamegi Yunde Chöpa Tela Lami Kuyu Yunden Chöya, and Tungu Yunde Chöya, Sungu Yunden Chöya, and the Kusung Tusum Yunden Chöya, and Lamegi Zevatinlegi Yunden Chöya, Chöpike, and Jinesoa Tibia, and Chicken Lamegi, and the Chi Yundengi, and Chi Yunden Tone, and Chi Yunden Chöya, and Soa Tibia, and the Nangi Yunden Chöya, Soa Tibia, and the Sao Yunden Chöya, Soa Tibia said, on Duschene. Soa de Sudelia, Yunde, Soa de Bachiba, Yunden Jutan delia, the Jutan Mira, the kissing the Ganzu, Yunde Junior Surim Judges, the magic, Jelame Yunde, Kusun to Yunden Jubutone and Delia, getting Jambata, and Devache, de Dusha Chamara, which is the Dineza, then my Yunde Mangu Juva, the Gu, then Mangu Chigune, Juhag, Yunden, the Kishu, the Yunde Hachaguma, or Duschene, Jugor, what.
This verse is remaining in this section. We are here now coming to a new aspect of the Lama's qualities that we are recalling to mind. So this verse, we recall his qualities in terms of his inner qualities. The immediately preceding verse was his outer qualities. Before that was a section on his great kindness, and before that was a section on the qualities of his body, speech, and mind. And the verse that will follow will be on his secret qualities, and thereafter his qualities relating to emptiness. So what is constant throughout is our Lama embodies all the qualities of the Buddhas. What is being done in each of these verses is drawing out varying aspects of his remarkable qualities. And this is expressed among many verses because the qualities of the spiritual teacher are so vast as well as profound.
Kamshi Geshe Junyi, and the Yala de Yure, Lama La de Yure. Tis a dinner in Sada, Zuga Lama de Nandu Kabla, Jedi Kabla, and the Chigore Sena, then Pumbo Tigina, Anzo Pumbo da Chibaro, Chirwa, Jike, Jibaru, Jigore, and a Pumbo da Kamna, Geshe Tikis, and Anzo Yuba, Anzo Nashin Chibaru, Jigore there, in a Dungomala, Anzo Nashin Chagomare. 나중에 풍부되게 나여봐 차야여봐 안지게 규리야 레다 녀모버 텔레티네 준디가 차고로봐 진짜 라미고디 나오줄 나야라 되네기 두고 지난 거 되네 뇌고라 안에 되네 말해시 월다 교육 봉음 계시 야라 남셔야 돼.
Your aggregates, elements, sources, and limbs. See, here, the word your, of course, is referring to our Lama. Here, we're recognizing that he appears in a form no different from ours. The aggregates appear the same, the elements or constituents appear the same, the sources, the limbs, all appear the same. So whilst he has appeared in a way that resembles his students, ourselves, the cause that led to the appearance of this form is remarkably different. For ourselves, our aggregates, our elements, sources, and limbs all came about in dependence on contaminated karma that was accumulated by the afflictions and ripened by afflictions. This is not the case for our Lama, despite him appearing in a form no different from ours.
자 풍보가 세대다 속이 풍보 소유 풍보 뒤집은 넘버 10 풍보가 지체 감시시들 나가 저게 아주 풍보나 가려서는 사주메롱 시대로 사주메롱 시대 감시시오래 다 계시 중에서 계시 중에서데 맞아 미기 계시 나외기 내지 루이 계시 죽제데 시 유전 죽다디 유 숙자디로라자 최세 죽세디 중이시 계시 중에서 야라 세딩 안주게 강바다 라바다 데네기 안에 죽고다 데네기 안에 안치라 소바 데네기 샤산데 야라 세오래 야라 남세데 다디 나랑줄에 여되어래 다 데네 나랑줄게 라마레 디나지 여바지 나랑줄이야 여반 진능 거래
The term aggregates will be very familiar with. The aggregates, the form aggregate, feeling, discrimination or differentiation, compositional factors, and consciousness. These are the five aggregates. The elements we can understand as the elements of earth, water, fire, and wind energy. And then the sources, these will refer to the sense sources as well as their objects. And so that, as well as then, so that's 5 of each, making 10. And in terms of the each particular sense, as well as its object. So the 5 senses, each having the 5 objects, as well as the mental sense and its object. So 12 in total. And that's the sources. Then the limbs, the regular limbs of the body, the head, arms, legs, and so forth.
Geshe ringa yuen senpa namsa choyu wangpo se chowa se Geshe ringa yuen senpa namsa choyu wangpo raji chosumye choyu wangpo se aji tada nala karsan Geshe se dem chisnada lami gyu yu ane pumpo nga po ti nyema nga najin chikpa res tada chikpa re de tada lama di lam kom nyamlin chepa la tene 풍부게 견 함지의 세진에 풍부가 버디 대신 세방의 뭐 주어레스 제가 라미게 풍부가 버디 대신 세방 뭐 나레스 대신 세방의 뭐레스 하지 대신 링나스 대신 링나게 있는 뭐레스
Reading the first 2 lines, your aggregates, elements, sources, and limbs are in nature the Sagatas and consorts of the 5 lineages. Here, whilst the Lama appears in the same, in an aspect no different from ourselves, looking at the aggregates, elements, sources, and limbs, there is an appearance no different from ourselves. But in nature, he has this body he has chosen to take has come about in dependence on the path that he has cultivated, the mental paths he has attained, which is and no different from that of the Sagatas, consorts, and consorts of the 5 lineages. Hence, in nature, you are the Sagatas, consorts of the 5 lineages.
Duen Rupa said, and Chikalas. Weba message rather Duen Rupa said, the Negare, Jiwanaman Timbo Bame, and then Ningar Mikyopa, Diabar, and Duen Rupa. Negar Chiclas. And the Shanga Mikyobache, Nambanaze, Obame, Mikyoba, and Duen Ruba, and a chicken temple. I think I did that, I think I did that one.
The 5 lineages then, this refers to the 5 wisdom Buddhas or the 5 dhyana Buddhas. So they refer to Vajrayana, Ratnasambhava, Amitabha, Amoghasiddhi, and Akshobhya.
Lam Yamno Combalatene, and Dishibung in war, you are a shah, Dishibda, Pumanga Dishibung in war, yes, that come she the Yum she is, come she the and Gemma, Yum she said, Gemma said, Gemma said, and the Mamaki said, Goyakarmo said, Drama said, all those your Adisoda, the war, yes, or that. Come she said, Chidan Juma de la Ranzugi. Chi Sachu Mela Chushua, Dangazuki Gula, Chuashi Mi, Lulina, Ranzuki, Kamnaloya, Sachu Melungorwa, Atisha, Nambata, Comida, Nambata Pegane, and then Yumshing or you are just Lamegi, Guigi, Takamishi, Yumshing or yes, or Sachu Milu Chilo, Sachu Ranzu Lula, Sachu Melo Chuashishua, Cesati Jama Comnia Lamnian Combalatene. Dico Gemma Karchawar Sangi to do, Gemma Yumshi more you who resident. Just a lamig daddy comes to the Yumshi more you are yes or Yumshi yes.
The consorts of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, these refer to the individual consorts. I don't know all the names, Mamaki, Tada, and 2 others. And again, I said them, but I don't know these. And so for our Lama, the 4 elements that comprise his form, these are in the nature of the 4 consorts. So the elements of earth and so forth are in the nature of, each element is in the nature of a differing consort.
That Kishin Hans, the Kishin, like Kishi Jungi body, Tanyama, Lama Kishi, Lamig, Yamne, Lam Gombala, Lamig, Kish Jungi did that, and Semba, because Semba Jungi, more you are, yes, Semba Jungi said that, Chana, the changes la sofa, the Denigi, Tushin, Semba Jungi said, Tangaja, Aducin, more you are, yes, Dimo, Dimo, yes. And Denigi, the changes la sofa, the Mango, that dinner.
For our Lama, his sources, the 12 sources, they arise in the nature of great bodhisattvas such as Vajrapani and Chenrezig. And his limbs, they arise in the nature of the 10, what do we have here, wrathful protectors in the next line.
That is not in Kisinyama that Caso give you set up to Casa, social set up to Kala, Denma, Jusarexima, that the Dojiku Pumbon and the Deshanga, Kamji, Kishes, the Sinam Janju Sambong, Babota Jimidis and Yalato Oboni. Some Chidemba and Shabby dance in the Kisinyama to social set up to Kabla, the Chick Shoes Hour, that's what it.
To say, as a translator, for those of you in the audience who know the Lama Chöpa better than I do, Genla is now referring to a verse, I don't know it here. So he's referring to a verse earlier, so now to Genla's commentary. So when we were earlier in the text, that we were cultivating the visualization, there was a verse there that specifically referred to what is being summarized here. So all these beings and deities in which nature of the Lama appears. So these were referred to in a verse previous.
안다데 풍부가 세다 안에지게 감시 세다 이게시기 제규시도 게시세다가도다 자다 수불야 자다 규바다 되네기 지게 치게 되네기 망보 주여돼 바데 나주기네 람냠nen제 곰제 야도방고 공대공대 표현될 산지요 고방 토여도 되네기 지금 풍부되게 차상 나버 다바시도 괜히 탐제다 세 괜 탐제다 세네 아니 그 레이구용어 규런 거래제 규거래스 진짜 디네 잘라마 세디다 괜 탐제다 세네 연다 탐제 토사와서 진짜 남비기 다 되네게 꾸이 차시 차상 두신의 레이구용어래 사지 두신의 연된 규거래다.
So that refers to then verse 12 earlier. Thank you. Here, for us, our body is still comprised of coarse elements, sources and limbs, and aggregates. But as we train, like our Lama has, we will purify as we cultivate the high paths, the greater paths, due to the purification and transformation of ourselves. These aggregate elements, sources, and limbs will, just like our Lama, arise in the nature of the Sugatas, the consorts, the Bodhisattvas, and wrathful protectors. So right now, what our body is comprised of is particularly coarse, but through mental training, being taken to its completion, we will arise in the deity of a body, in a deity's body, just like that of our Lama. And this is done through the process of purifying all faults completely.
어디니게다 라미기 안다고 꾸이기 차시 차상도 수시에서네 라미기 되니게 연된 주변에 되네 초용보 다 라신 초섬기 시대다 뭐더되나 라마세디 겸녀 군주스명 오래스 겸녀 라신 다 군주스명 초섬 산제 군주 최 군주 견주 군주스명들라 탈두고 탈두고 군주스명 세다 되니게 송무라다 탈두고 군주스명세데 다 윤 탐제다 세바 윤다 탐제 톱체비게다 산제 군주도 최 군주 기둥 군주 초섬용 제가 라신 초섬기 다니 라마 세데 라마 교랑 라지 더 되어되나 되니게 윤데 되듯이 더 된다 라마 교랑 군주 숨기 아니 모이게 다니 모규비게다 라마 교랑 라마 교랑다 안 젤레 소바티기 있어 초섬게 다니 라마 초라 소바티세.
The verse concludes with Supreme Guru. In nature, the three jewels, I make requests to you. Here, the translation is fine. The Tibetan term that has been utilized for three jewels, the Supreme really goes there. Guru, in nature, the Supreme three jewels, because it refers to the ultimate three jewels, and the ultimate three jewels that a Buddha has attained. So more literally, it would be Guru in the nature of the ultimate three jewels. And to our Lama, recognizing these qualities, we make requests to him.
대신 셰빙의 용어 섬다디 산지권조스 산지권조 자루로 산지권조와 지단 자주 셈바세야데 제도다 그 되니기 안에 저게 꾸유에 된디게 찾아 안에 제가 셈비용어 돼야 되게다 다 초유의 원비용어 넘버 돼야 되게 찾아 딱 어쩌고 탈두기 안에 개념고죠 다 산지권조다 대디 투기 연된디게 아니 연대기 차사 안에다 최고조 책으로와 제가 네 숨디다 라미고 구송 투숨도 뭐 열매래 뭐 열매 봐래 제발 제가 라신 초숨이 라신이래 지도 산지고조 최고조 기류고조 숨이라 뭐 라신디 라마켜라래 제가 되네자 라마켜라야 안에지 지가 라마 초세데 되네게단 되네게 라메나네 라마 초도 교바
In this verse, we're making request to the Lama, recognizing him as being indivisible in nature with the three supreme jewels. So this is something that's been referenced previously as well, seeing the Lama as indivisible from the Buddha and the Yidam. Here it's been made specifically clear that the Lama is seen as indivisible from the three supreme jewels, with the Buddha jewel being referenced here with the Sugatas and 5 consorts, the Sangha jewel being referenced through the Bodhisattvas and wrathful protectors, and the Dharma jewel being the qualities of his mind. So in this way, we're recognizing in this verse that the Lama is indivisible in nature with the three supreme jewels.
Lama Chökyi and Kusung Tusum, Lama Chökyi, Dina Yoba Nashin, Ngayang, Nalaya, Yunden Dina Shinchu, Yagi, Tondala, Lama Chökyi, Jin Lapchima, Malia, Denigi, Nubadima, Judushine, Yoyak, Lama Jinli, La Roche, Sungorwada, Shugorwada, so a depsity, so a depsity in Eculia, Denigi, Topo, Yunden, Kitu, Nubadi, Yoya, Lama Jin La Roche, such.
Just before I come to again, I said, the word being that is about to be used is that of to receive blessings. Just bear in mind the meaning of inspiration, the meaning of the word blessing. So again, let's commentary. So here in this verse, we recognize that our Lama is indivisible in nature with the three supreme jewels, recognizing these incomparable qualities that he has attained through training in the self-same path that he is guiding us in. We turn to him and make supplications or make requests. Please bless me to achieve those same qualities as you have. Or again, please inspire me to develop those same qualities that you have within me.
Yunden Lama Chökyi Yunden Yoba Nashin Anzu Chula Yoyagi Nubad Pa Shaya Lama Chökyi La Roche Song Ja Shugor Wada Da Lami Jingi Laps Jin Lamne Nubase or Lami Nuba Laps and Guatan was order. Chesna Lami Nubi Karikuatan Orson Maranchuki Simku Guatan and then Guatan and Gundi Pa Seda Yunden Ya Jubialia Guatan Hori Diary and Down Roche Surwada. Jin lapsed, Jin said, Sichin Nuba, Lap said, Nubati to Cuba, Guatan, so sim Guatan.
The term to bless, this literally has the meaning of recognizing that they have the potential to bring about transformation. So as a literal translation of the word to bless would be to bring about, to have the potential to bring about transformation.
Nyomo Bichoti Ba and Mava Session, Gave Chodia, Nuva Gonia go to Peche, New Go Pego. She's not Guatin to war, but Danga to Gunyirik, some not Gunyirik Ma do, and gave each or samba, Yadi Yari, Nubachi, Guato, they said. She's not the Dushin, that Guato, not the dinner, Jingi Lapsati. The dinner in Zada, and the Jingi Laps, so did the dining border, so David do, Talamin Ma Jingi Labroche, Talami Man. Now, soon Roche, so or water, just want to the Lameke, Kanawa, Nashing, Azuki, Yamlen Chiarity, and Chehu, that and dollar. Then Yamlen Chicken Sigor, dying to Chehu room.
And it's important to understand this term to be blessed or to receive blessings. So, literally, what it means, you have the potential to bring about transformation. So how does the Lama have potential to bring about transformation? He has the potential to bring about transformation in his students through illuminating the path. And what is the path that he illuminates? It's a path of accumulation and purification. He illuminates the path of identifying what are the virtuous minds to accumulate and how to do so, and what are the harmful minds, the non-virtuous minds, to purify and how to do so. So through illuminating this path, we strive to cultivate that path that is illuminated within ourselves, and it's through our striving to cultivate the path that's illuminated that we transform our mind. That is the meaning of to bless or to receive blessings. And to express it in a different way, but the meaning is the same. The requests that are being made, the supplications are, teach me and train me in how to transform my mind. That is the meaning of blessings. To be blessed is to be taught, and then to apply those teachings to one's mind.
Nyambara shashe, nyamsha, sanje sungo mare, sanje nyambara shane, nyamsha di dingi zingi nube topki peni medele jingi la goreche. Chesa, shera nyingpo di sanje ki tuk dingi zingi topki jingi la bareche. Chesa da shera nyingpo sundu kabla, sanje jumde de nyambara shade yore. Nyambara shashe, sanje jumde de ki tuk dingi zingi jingi labche, sheru poli jingi labche du, sheru buki dugo kwaya de semle jayongo, tadi Papa Genesis le digo se bigeda rawan mebaji ko dengu duwa de dengu re. Chizan shiri bige Genesis le duwa ko. Chizan Genesis gi ane ya sanyu jimde jingi le da lenge de manoro machu baje ta le tuwo re du jingi le. Chizan Papa Genesis gi pa lendi de respa. Chizan shiri ni bodi ane ma jige shiri boda shiri bu duwa ko Genesis ma lenge de shile chikse. 지사디 상유점내 디가서 상유점내 데다 냠바샤지 띵이징이 토네 상유점내가 송고바 띵이징 냠바샤지 띵이징이 또 뉴비 혼이 징이 랍제 혼이 디우드는 제도 되는 마지되네 디 최년의 차상이야 모두도 시유데 상유도 수냠바샤데 다전데스다 시르부디여와 지도 시르비게 디워시 땅에도 전데스 마치len지도 된 차상 고고로와 근데 거기 디워디다스네 디디디도 왔습니다 제가 상유점내는 문이 제일이야 문이 leso dede shino said odi dede shino said kyoran jiuko banashi de diwadi lenjabana donda tagareda said dede shino dire said ane dusha sanji sonede dede shino said songdi chegor dade tu dembe to kijini la dade demba mi demba inne di jero yonga sho said yongor da tu dembe to kijini la base.
The various ways that that Buddhas bless beings. One is through the, I think the translation is through the power of the truth. It's a new term for me, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's the power of the truth. And the second is power of concentration. One of the most famous illustrations of the Buddha blessing through the power of concentration is in the Heart Sutra, which we recited earlier, where through the blessing of the Buddha's concentration, he inspired Shariputra to ask a question to which Chenrezig would faultlessly answer, also through the power or the blessing or the power of the Buddha's concentration. And this dialogue between Shariputra and Chenrezig would have great benefit to the direct audience as well as the subsequent audience, those who in later generations would come to read that sutra. So through the power of, through the blessing of the concentration of the Buddha, the Heart Sutra came about, the Heart Sutra was born. And near the end of it, the Buddha responds from his concentration, it is well, or it is so, I think. And here he is giving his explicit confirmation that the answer from Chenrezig was unmistaken.
Jisadajing Jingi Lapsadi, Nubi Tupki, Anzu Samba, Nambi Chudba, Jurche, Gay Cholia, Jura de la Jingi Labas, Jin said, Sanyi Nubache, Nubadiche, Lapsiding Anzu Sim, Jungi Rikpa, Dorje, and they ya gave it to Jura de la Lapsed, Jingi Lapsed, Dona Dirva. Jisada Jingi Laptan de la Guyugone Jingi Lava, Sungugone Jimbi Lava, Tuyugone Jingi Lava Sage. Jisanda Sungugone Jingi Lapsid, Sungi Ma Sungje did the Che Sonade, Ma Sungje Guata. And Kajelia, then Sungi Kishen, Sumuovaje, Dinging two Yukon Jingla, so two Dingins in Yamba Shavetone could Nuba Jenan Guata to Yoba. And Kashen Anji could Guyone. 对这贵那把对这去给我打对用过了，这是古松土贵国的经验了吧，宋国的经验了，土有国的经验了吧，现在，到土有国的经验了吧，是土点别都给经验了吧，土定义经验都给经验了吧，是的一些的人啊，土有国的说土点别都给经验了吧，土定义经验都给经验了吧，是，我都是真的，但经验了他的了呀，我这个给我打他的了呀，我都是上一个女把的那个团呢，当然这里呀，给别错了呀，给我打头呀，一个女把的那个儿子过来。
This word then, to bless, has two syllables, jin and lab. Jin then refers to the power and potential that a Buddha contains or possesses. And then the second syllable, that of lab, this then refers to the recipient of that potential, that potency from the Buddha. So that would be the student then. And that receiving, this also has the connotation that through receiving, through the virtue acquired through receiving the blessing, transformation is possible. So that this is how we get that the meaning of blessing is having the potential to transform. The potential, or the potency, this exists within the blesser, within the Buddha, and the transformation happens through the virtue being acquired by the recipient. Then the potential is expressed either by the Buddha through his physical behavior and benefits beings for whom mere physical action is of most benefit, or through his speech, so that would be where he would teach, or for those for whom greatest benefit will not come through speech or through physical action, merely through mental activity. And there it would be expressed through the blessing of concentration, such as in the Heart Sutra, or the blessing of truth. And these two then are merely mental.
Lami Kuchewa Zambi, Sosole Deva Jadang, and the Chig Lami Deva Jadang, and then Lami Kuchewa Deva Jendangi, Chik Divi Chawasada, Dirin Paching Meta, Sampik, Tamjachin, Divi Chawach Mecheba, Dina Yungoro, this is a Pachu Guni Chilova, Shana Chachon, Chagora, Carson Gui, Nubaletene, Gudi, Shed on the Chewa Zambi, Di, Lama Deva Jadang, Di Tonan, Dinigitona, Shingi, Dipong. In
a way, for example, the Buddha's body in the image of a consecrated statue.
Lama Jay, the Garum Jay, the bit Steva Ram by Yedan, and the Jiggy, Penitembasha to a Yamashu, Tembashu to a Jay, and Deva Ram by Yada, and the Tidurin of Zangi, Tipatis in the Jim SW, Tidurin the Comium and Jin Sepe, some Yamna Jungura, just we were the Jin Lava Chagurwa.
Sorry, I got confused because the word for a statue and the word for the body in relation to great beings is the same word. So again, it's referring then to the form of our Lama, the body of our Lama. So the body of our Lama can be can bless us, merely the body of the Lama, Through, for example, if we think of, say, His Holiness, merely seeing him, one naturally wants to prostrate to him. Our mind opens and is receptive, wanting to transform ourselves, to become just like him. So in this way, merely through seeing his form, seeing the form of the Lama, we receive blessing. We attain his potential to transform ourselves. What's expressed in this and this section of verses is that through recalling these incredible qualities of one's Lama, inspiration arises within oneself. Inspiration arises to become just like him, to make the greatest use of our opportunity in his presence, and thereby to train our mind to become just like him. This opens us up, makes us receptive, brings about a yearning to strive. And then we make this application. Bless me to transform myself, to develop the self-same qualities that you have, to take these teachings, cultivate them well, and become pure and perfect, just like you. That then concludes looking at the 50th verse, which is making supplications by proclaiming his inner qualities. Now we'll come to the 51st verse, making supplications by proclaiming his secret qualities. Arising from the play of omniscient transcendental wisdom, you are the essence of 10 million mandala cycles, pervading Lord of 100 Buddha families, foremost Vajra holder, unified primordial savior, I make requests to you.
군 람나 창마라 거와 미군라네 미창마라 거와 지상 군 세대 가르라네 군조바다 군주배치다 돈내배치 탐제스월 아군 창마스월 창마 지도 군주배치다 돈내배치 창마 군주 덴바다 돈내 덴바선이 여러와 지서 군주배치다 돈내배치 창마스 군주 덴바다 돈내 덴바 직뒤에는 군주 덴바다 돈내 덴바스 직도에서 지금은 군주배치다 돈나배치 창마서 군세대 제산 군주배치다 돈나배치 탐지 지다와신도 캠바스다 군켄세대 군케 예시세대 군케 예시세 군주배치다 돈나배치 탐지 원숨도 도바 탈치배 예시세 탈치배 예시세 군케 예시세 군켄 예시세로 군켄 예시세 예시라는 상기규 캠바들의 개 예시주고로다 예시에서는 남딩 오디바시로 예시세 군계 예시세.
Rising from the play of omniscient transcendental wisdom. So this term that's translated as omniscient transcendental wisdom, it has as a first particle, it doesn't come across in the translation at all. The word literally is all, A-L-L, all. So this refers to all phenomena, both conventional and ultimate. All phenomena is realized by the omniscient transcendental wisdom. So that the translation is fine, but it makes the in the Tibetan, it makes reference to all phenomena. Now, omniscient consciousness realizes all phenomena, both conventional and ultimate.
군세디 군주베치다 돈데베치 참마 간디시네야 다 차사 아니 원숨도 gembakke kin 원숨도 또 다르친 바래서 캔바 캔바래서 제자다 캔비 예시데 캔바 호랑래 예시에서 오라 예시 진짜 예시게 되네게 캔비 예시디야다 가시나 나 저기 ben에 전주선바다 당하는 저기 전주선바라 소백이다 최 군주베치야 도고래 돈나베치야 도고래 얘네야 탈침바 말봐 탈침바 말해 도고래 내 탈침요 말해 너도 아야 라도요 봐 탈침요 말 아디나냐 나 차상 모습도 또 봐디 예시에서디 디나데다 로나네 베니 가소리 미니 로 차신 타모 라 차셔디 인간 저기 미니 로 차셔디게 또봐 예시디 소 예시기 되니게 로 차셔디 또 예시되라 내가 지래 최 군주배 최다 된다고 무슨 또봐 탈침바들이 탈침바다 예시 롤발에서 예시 되니게 예시 랑신이 맞고 또 동바이 또 예시 랑시 세세다 예시 롤바스도 동바니라 제주도 냠발 샤신배 안에 냠발 샤신 예시들이 사실 온도선 이거 군기 예시에서 군신세디 군주배 최다 된다고 무슨 또봐 탈침바지 이시에 대한 탈침바 맛에 이시에서도 롤바스도 가rel로 롤바스 유 가rel로 롤바스 동반이나 제주도 냠바 샤신백이 이시지에서 네. 디디디라 모다디 다디 군계세도 최담주 가서 군주부 최도는 원수도 비 켐바듯이 대상 탈침바 안디야는 예시에서도 유 동반이나 제주도 냠바 샤신바지에서
The term that we translate as omniscient wisdom or omniscient transcendental wisdom, so this first word all in the Tibetan, then this refers to all phenomena, conventional as well as ultimate. And this is realized by the exalted wisdom of a Buddha in this case. So whilst bodhisattvas will realize all phenomena, all conventional and ultimate phenomena, as well as ordinary beings will certainly realize conventional phenomena, there is a vast difference for a Buddha, because the way the Buddha realizes all phenomena, even when compared to high bodhisattvas, is realizes them perfectly. So here there's the word like as in perfected, the realization of all phenomena is perfected. So this will come out for us in English as a quality of this particular transcendental wisdom, that all phenomena are realized perfectly. And the wisdom here in particular that is referenced, because you have arises from the play. So arising from the play or from the manifestation, makes reference that this wisdom is one realizing the ultimate, realizing emptiness. And this is the manifestation or the play that is being referenced.
제자다 제주선바이나 동반이라 냠바 샤양 되가블라 냠바 샤나 디네 셴취송야다 아니 주버주야라 소바다 디네기 제투고 말에 나 야지게 셴 최송야라 소바다 셴련 좀 직생규 된 자와 제제도 셴 직생리아 최셰야 셴리 로바제 디네 제투가블라 안 동반이라 냠바 샤바도 용고 말에 상제라 동반이라 냠바 샤신병 안에 디네 그 류기 주버 남바 주버된야 안징하게 최송야 강 가르치네 제투고다.
Arising from the play or the manifestation of omniscient transcendental wisdom is something that Buddhas uniquely can do in the sense of, whilst realizing ultimate truth, they are able to engage in activities to benefit others, such as manifesting or teaching the Dharma and so forth. Even great bodhisattvas cannot do that. Even the great bodhisattvas, whilst engaging in virtuous activities for the benefit of others, such as teaching the Dharma, cannot do so whilst directly realizing the ultimate.
On the negate Tongbanyla number Shashime, D. Ngane, and a kilkor, Selida, Guikiho, the Sungiho, Tuyiho, said Kusun, Tusungi, number Shergores, Shergores, God, Benesangi, Lamegi, Guda, Sunda, Tuti, Ganeshagos and Anzanashin, Mareda, Ganeshagos, Lamegi, two. 최탐지 원선 탈침비 이시 동반이라 제주도 냠바 샤신비 냠이 이시 델레기 디기 추 아니 길코르 셰데 다 루기 꾸이 길코 숨이 끼고 투이 끼고서 구송 투숨디기 두스 샤고를 해시 라미게데 때 간젤에 다 유동반이 또 불러지는 수 샤고를 해서 숨고래
Rising from the play of omniscient transcendental wisdom arises, so this will be a little different from the second line in the English, the 10 million mandala cycles, which refers to, from this manifestation rising from emptiness, the lamas or the Buddhas, body, speech and mind appear. So this is the reference of mandalas, referring to the mandala of the Lama's body, the mandala of the Lama's speech, and the mandala of the Lama's mind. These appear out of or they manifest, or they arise as manifestations from his wisdom realizing emptiness.
구송 투숨 라고다 구이기와 송교 투이기와 라고라 이나 구송 투숨이야 라미게 송 라미게 류 라미게 투디 아니 동방이 또 비시될 부추 딜레 샤고를 해지래 숨세야돼 길코라서 다데네 길코를 제외 다니시도 길코를 데니기 기고 파 예와를 파 채와이 나서 제와세야 돼 예와 마두스네 지셔바네 데니기 기고 안 다니 아니 리캬 세 담마리캬 세야돼 구 자담바 담바 리캬담바 주야다 리키 리캬 세 갸담바 모주야 디 갸담바도 수 뉴베이나 안 가자 도시어 주고 라미 구송 투숨기 동방이도 베시레시 될수 샤와레스 달라미 구송 투기 주발을 콜로딜라 콜로스데 주비고 고 제와세다 빠도 메바 망부 주고레스 디네 주베네 디네기 수 뉴베이나 아니 리캬날 두고레스 구 리캬날 두고레스 리키 리캬세 제가 잠깐 지나 뒤도 콜로세디 대지길 거세데 구송 투숨이세 디오 콜로세데 양 구송 투숨 넘버 주야 될이야 콜로세디 구송 투숨이야 저는 데네게 넘버 주야 될이야 빠도 메버 주고레스 주니 아니 챤이 제야데 지치고레스 동반이나 냠바 샤신베 안에 냠자디 마다와진 주비고 빠도 메버 주시고레스 대소제 주 뒤변 리캬나는 뒤기레스
You're the essence of 10 million mandala cycles, pervading Lord of 100 Buddha families. The mandala cycles that are referred to, this then refers to the mandala of the Lama's body that arises from the manifest from the omniscient transcendental wisdom, as well as the mandala of the Lama's speech that arises from his wisdom realizing emptiness, and the mandala of the Lama's mind that arises from or manifests from the Lama's omniscient transcendental wisdom. So that can be looked at. If that were to be divided, it would be divided in ways that could be countless millions. We have 10 millions, but like that, countless millions. And this can also be divided as being into the 100 Buddha families, all of which are pervaded by the essence, all of which are pervaded by the Lama's transcendental wisdom, which is the very essence of his body, speech and mind, and all of the 100 Buddha families.
제가 길고를 콜로세리 아주 삼는 날에 고고 지역으로 삼는 코리아 있냐나 요래. 제가 콜로 끼고 콜로세리 된다데 갈아버렸는데 고고랑 지내고 말다. 근데 넘기면서 다 가지 빼로시래 콜로시도 맞아 뭐라 콜로도 와대 콜로도 같이 오르선 콜로디 권 루고로 와 꼬르지는 가지가 루고로 가지가 리고로 와 세상 콜로세 두 꼬르지는 타르고 가지가 루고로 했어요 디나신 최유 콜로라도 산지 송제 최유 콜로래 세상 콜로세도 지 산지 송야디 미치리와 랍자도 소소제스 바송 디게 냠는지 디게 현다질래 송 디게 냠는지 샤라지 샘제 망부질려 꼬라게제 핀파용 거로 지금 콜로세 딜레고 지금 디나신 산지 구 주변나 봐 찍을 때 될래 두제준데 양 찍을 때 두제준 대 찍을 때 두제준데 콜로세래 지금 산지 송디 송유 콜로라비도 산지 송디 안tem바시게 되비게 송조하다 직 템바시에슈도 가로 코로 송거래 안데는 마진 직 캐바 로마틱 마진 콤볼루즈라서 받아든 마 냠는지도 송 코로존예 뭐 냠는지 되네 별 마제 캐바 냠는지 된된 마제 당아서 레딩아 주기디 산지 송도 파 지로 된퇴 디드나시 이제만 아주기네 강투두디 샤야셰번 진짜 콜로세디 산지 송도 진지기 년지지 냠는지 차상이야 또 두고인자 콜로스만 꼬르가지 두고 디나신 조인자 콜로세지 근데 콜로세디 기고 콜로세디 남미나 지금 저기 지게 양 긴고로세디 콜로세디 긴고로세지 시야쇼로디 강발로 고고래 강바 제메 many was another bidi in the sound to be you were you was said Yoruba, did you was said the young share can go or share can come go. Did you what you come? That did you said the Gilu said it's not to shine to score colors the course to shine catch him with doing to you about the color said the narrow teenage war.
We use a Sanskrit word mandala. The Tibetan word has two syllables, kil and kor, and the second one, kor, means round or circular. And then it has also its verb, which we normally say to turn. Here it's as cycle. The verb is written as cycle, which is okay. So again, they're saying that the second syllable in the word mandala, which means round or circular or a sphere, we shouldn't take it to mean it refers to a circle. In other contexts, we can imagine it in this way. It serves a purpose. So this word is also used, for example, in a mani wheel. So this is the word wheel, that's circular. Or we have the wheel of life, that's circular. And the Lord Buddha, he turned the wheel of Dharma. So these we all imagine as being circular, but it's not all necessarily, so that's not necessarily mistaken to do, but the meaning isn't limited in this way. So for example, in the term mandala then, we are also familiar with it in Tantra, where the deities have a celestial mansion, their mandala. So that isn't circular, that it's referring to their palace or their mansion. And here, the word that we have, 10 million mandala cycles. So this we can understand in a similar way to the Buddha turning the wheel of Dharma. Of course, wasn't a literal turning of something round or circular, but it was setting something in motion. He taught the Buddha taught the Dharma to direct disciples. First it was a group of 5 and quickly became many more. But it wasn't just teaching to them and then it's ceasing. Of course, the lineage of his teachings continued through his disciples, generation after generation, right to the present day. So this turning of the wheel of Dharma continues. So in this understanding of a wheel turning, we can understand mandala cycle, that it's setting, enlightened activities being set in motion, the benefits of which continues far beyond what is immediately apparent.
콜로 집에 다니지 콜로 세디 인지미지 고고를 고야 말 콜로 세디 고탄되는 요래세디 지시고 등이 뒤세버다 셔버래 제선다야 kui kilgor sungi kigo tuyi kigo selen yang jigmi di thone ya xie khan ha du sin kilgor sin deni gi je zhuya yonggor da na so yonggor da du xie da de danda la karasna sangi yi tu nya ba shebe dinge zin de la de ne gu sung tu sum zhuya da di thone ane ge zhuba na so ba zhui xin ne de li gu na ba na so ba denggo res de ne dön ba dis chasan su du ba ne rikya sene rikya na la dugor ma do dinai ma du ba yo ma du rikya na dugor da dene damba rikya dia an su du ba ne ringa na la din ringa se ringa na dugres dia su du ba ne riksum na la dugres dina du ba dia ka du de rikchig na la chapta do jimbe zo chapta do je sans chapta do je jimbe zo se da de la chapta do je jimbe zo se do jeza chapta do je jimba ke 도시 창모 지용어 두고레스 지사 지용어 두고레제레 진비 조선 캬다 되니기 담바 지데 리캬나 두 리캬디아 수두에는 나나나 두 나지아 수두베는 숨나 두 수보디아 두에는 캬다 도시 지부나 두고레 지사 도시 지부 디기 차상게 다조 주현디 도시 지부레스오다 디기 바 주셔 마서 수두베나 도시 장디레스 고 자주변나다 동주변나다 나주변 차상디 도시 창코로레스 지금 그런 기도를 제가 조수 뒤에도 그런 도시 캡다 도시 찬 캡다세도 내지 진에게 차상을 캡되게 안 조 도시 찬레스 어두시 뒤거래제래
Again, I don't think this really works so well in English, but we try. So this word mandala, which has this element of being circular, this term in there of being circular or round or sphere, whilst a mandala can have this reference or this connotation of circular, because the same word, the same second syllable of the word for mandala, kor, is also the word for wheel, so a car's wheel. It's also in the word for dharma wheel, or turning the wheel of dharma. So the turning, we have here a cycle. And so we see here many contexts. Mandala can reference something as being round in shape, such as a mani wheel, but not necessarily such as the celestial palace of a deity. So then further, coming now to the third line, pervading Lord of 100 Buddha families, foremost Vajra holder. So here we'll need to change the translation a little bit, because, okay, so now linking to the previous lines, our Lama, the Buddha, he arises from the play or the manifestation of the exalted omniscient wisdom, and arising in a variety of ways to benefit beings, with his mandala of body, speech and mind, in 10 million or millions of different ways, that can be condensed into 100 Buddha families, which can be condensed into just 5, or into 3, or into 1. And the 1 then, and here we change the translation, is in reference to our Lama, the pervading Lord, the foremost Vajra holder. So just changing that word order, because in the Tibetan, pervading Lord goes together with foremost Vajra holder. So therefore, our Lama is in essence, can be either divided into the 100 Buddha families, which can in themselves be divided into or condensed into 5 Buddha families, which can be condensed further into 3 or into 1. The pervading Lord, foremost Vajra holder.
ane songjuk tangpo kala sowa de, songjuk tangpo se songjuk la de, ane ku ka so de, duangi yue se, tongpa nyi tobe she tang, ku nyi di, gyume ku nyi po di, songdu chupa se ore. Songjuk se de, ku dang lame ge da tu, tongpa nyi tobe she te dang, lame ku nyi ngo yer me pa ge namba shar dugan, 구디라 아니 송죽서 제가 송죽 당배 권라스 송죽 당배 권라 소와 뎁시데 데네게 라마 교란디다 Rigi Chapter Chasangida, Longbani Topi, Onsum Topi, Deletine Shave, the Trubana Sotin by the Chasan Dushabana, Chapter to his child, they Chapter to his child, Sonjuku, that Jasan Lama Chöpa Dires, Lama Chöpa Sonjuku, Chapter to his child, Kuran is. The Jasan, that the Niki, Kurangi Tone, Dushi Pigata Chasan, Jake Sanji Chasan, let me over, she did not do city. So I did it there, that the Delay Garsunusne. Lama Sayadang, Sangye Sayadang, Idam Say Chasada, Laming or Yemeba, some Tache, Dustin, so deep Chigorova, Chesada, a Tubiki Chasa DJ Center, and Sunjut Lama, Delia, so I take it, Sunjut Tambo, so I have seen the Sunjuku, then the Tambo, Tangan, Donation, Longus of Kusia, Longu Kusia, the two with the Longo Say, Java Sunjut, Tambo Conla, Setambo Longo, so I did the Nikitang. That it is Dampu Composade, then the longer the Nigeria, and so at the S and Dushin, Chesada Lamadi, Dusha, Lama Kuronda, Angele, Rigi Chapter, Doji Chang, Sonju, Kudires, Chesan Kurongi, Dushin number, Dusus, and Rigi Kada, Raso Padaku, the Nituba, the Nituri, Chesada, Dushin, Lama Kuronzo, or Kuron, Lamigu, and the tribute on the Lamalia, so at the Vachagor. She's Capta said the cap said the Garasne, they should do a chasan like captain. Coron and Cabaret, Chesan Coron, Dahores or Capta, said Dahbody, Daho Corores, Chesan Drugo, Drubo Corores, so do by no Corancha, Lama Corancha, Chesan de Lamadi, Dojitsimba, Dojichang, Dojitsimba, Corores, Chesan Lama Dojichang di Drubo Mambo, Drugo, Dabo Corores, Coron Drugo, etc. Chesan that Mambo, the Jatonada, Sumtonada, Tongtonada, Chesan Lamig Tribal, yes, or that. Chesan Sonju said the Lami good on 2 new more yemebas. Lami good on 2 more yemebe good. That good Lama Dorje Changi good on 2 down, Song the Chesan more yeme, yes, Song to Chupas.
Pervading Lord, foremost Vajra holder. So here we are recognizing that our Lama as the pervading Lord, in that he is Lord of all Buddha families, pervading the divisions of 100, 5, or 3. And he is the foremost Vajra holder, Dorje Chang, or Vajradhara. And he's unified with Vajradhara in that his body, speech, and mind is indivisible with that of Vajradhara, who is the pervading Lord, the foremost Vajra holder. So there we have the reference between the pervading Lord, foremost Vajra holder, and our Lama, the primordial savior, are unified. And this term, translated as primordial savior, is more commonly, the translation is fine, it's literally the first or the initial protector. And it's in the sutra tradition, it's translated as the term Sambhogakaya would be used here. So here we are relating to our Lama as Sambhogakaya, as Dorje Chang, the pervading Lord, the foremost Vajra holder. And to him we make requests.
Dine Zadang Zugi, do sin the Lamiki, and then Jubit and Lamalia so deep chandu, Zugi, Sanjet Hamchelia, Sanjet Hamchelo so deep chagore, and then Idam Chasana so deep chagore, Lama Tamche so deep chagorwa, Chesan Lamiki, Capta, Chasan do see, Lama Idam, Sanji, some more yemi to Tone, do sin it, Lama Idam Sanji Chasalia, and so a deeper. The chick Deba Chebadia, Lama Idam Sanya Tamjele Deba Cheba to Gore, so the Lama Idam Sanya Tamjele, Nechigate, so the Cheba to Gore. And the kitchen jamba de Lama Idam Sanya Tamji, kitchen jamba Charo, which is not Dineza, Azul, Lamin Najur City, Lama Idam Sanya Sung, or Yemin of David Tone, Yamneche de Leda, Lamin Najur said, Dus Sungorwa.
As was drawn out in the first verse, or verse number 1, and has been referenced many times, is that in this practice we see we understand our Lama to be indivisible in nature from all the Buddha's yidams and yidams. So we see the three beings as indivisible in nature, our Lama, our yidam, and the Buddha. But in fact, our Lama is indivisible from all the other Lamas, yidams, and Buddhas. And thereby, when we're recalling our Lama's kindness, we also know we are recalling the kindness, his qualities of body, speech, and mind, and the qualities we've been looking here, at the outer qualities previously, earlier, tonight, the inner qualities, and now the secret qualities. These qualities our Lama possesses, and they too are indivisible from all the yidams and Buddhas. So in this way, when we recognize his qualities, we're recognizing those of all the yidams and Buddhas, and when we make supplications to our Lama, we know we are doing so as well to all the yidams and Buddhas.
상기기 뭐 교양도 상기 고바 토여도 안 도시네 구차사 아주기 도시네 용고레스 지난 내내 해서 대시디 구티리캬다 링아다 주비고 세죠 아티샤 상기 고바 톱사나 되네치 두 용고레스 그래서 당 아주기 상마게년에 디송한 저기 야 곰지네 라디기도 수제네 곰지네 장도 지고 지고로와다 지고로와 대신에 제디 다당아주 디니게 상원도 빙냠낸다 디네 마 송로도 안데서도 치네 검나데 송고래 디네 냠내지다 송고래 디네 자당한도 도시네 나데서 내가도 된다 삼비 토네다 지 템비 토네 진다다 베스는 바도메 바사야데 나다도 된다디게 야진 지 레로요 말다 디소네 징나게 토네냐 지 롭존라데 갈간잠로지 제는마도 디고 딜람사디 샤디디레사 샤투야 카보로와 디네자다 돈다디기 샤라스 삼데 칙디파 되면 좀 이해가 되게 표현 받으면 봐서 두고로와다.
What is being referenced in this verse is the attainment that Buddhas have achieved. This is their reality, that arising from their or manifesting as or arising from the play of omniscient transcendental wisdom, they arise as, in essence, the 100 Buddha lineages, or the 5, or the 3, or condensed down to the 1. This is their reality. The qualities of the enlightened being is unimaginable, indescribable. For us, it's beyond our comprehension, let alone our attainment. But this is the result of the training that we are engaged in, whatever our level is. This is the final result, the perfected result. And those who are qualified to engage in practices such as Guru Samaja, how to train to achieve this actual result is presented. But to be able to engage in those actual training is really difficult. It requires an extensive education as well as extensive training based on that education. So this is somewhat beyond our level. Nevertheless, whatever level of understanding we have of what's recited here, merely by reciting it with some mindfulness, recalling the meaning, great benefit is attained and is worthwhile to do.
지난미 저기 지게 상화두바레 대쇼레 도지지레 안도시네가 저기 도시 냠렌체야리아는 다 디니게 딱 냠렌 지류 갑된 긴코사 답고미하다 안 디니게 저기다 도시네 하기에 저고미하다 되네 하기야라야 아마뉴요로 그런서 지게 도지 직시에다 하는 상황도바다 대쇼다 도시도 그런서 양 공디가블 하마뉴가 삼다이 마뉴요로 고미요 용거래 진짜 이내다 콜 냠렌제다 직도시네 되서 곧 용거래 이내 요 사기고 토여도 돈다지발리고래 곧 맞아 트러스틱 되서 곧 냠렌제다라 타데다 디기 냠렌제다 도시네 되서 미라미사 용거래 고검 잡달래 이내 곧 그이 토네 상기고바 토바나 상기고바 톱사나 차산 직발sem마도 네 양연된 체중을 개발가야 말해.
There are different meditation manuals one engages in that present the training that is referenced here. They all bring about the attainment of the same exalted result of enlightenment. So whether one engages in the trainings of Gyosamaja, Haruka, or Yamantaka, and thereby engages in their various specific practices, visualizing the mandalas and the varying deities, there is at that level of presentation or method or style some difference. But in terms of the final attainment of enlightenment, there is no difference.
다진에게 냠는 지도 갑리나 소소라랑기 감다 뭐바다 소소기 류기 자다 룽조당에 토네 다 냠는 지야랴 도스네 되스켜봐 야루다 되는지 용구여서와 되는지 요스 되는게 켜봐 용구여서와다 감다 뭐바지다 저기 라메기 왕나도 갑리 왕시도 갑리야 아니 지게 디 소신 도르세지 도우도와 제자 중골이야 도르지 소수기 될야 감나 뭐봐 딜람을 이람 가르다 소수 저와 체도 될 따고래 제자디 소수기 도위게 초대 가와디데 포베네 디 이담 대당아주 저와 숙체요래 제자 디 돈에 나중에 도스체네 라메기 딩아주리아 직 상천세 민진나도 가비네 어제 안에 결혼이 지게 뒤엔더지 나지지지 자다 손두스능도와 어디 개발 된데 연구해서 와다 나 재미하는 저기다 제만 냠는지도 다 냠는지도 치도데 나 소수게 냠녀사게서 예라미기 두스가절에 라트에낭이낭이 지도되네 다다 연구를 와다.
It's important to understand there's no difference between the varying practices of Gyosamaja, Haruka, Yamantaka, and so forth, in terms of which is better or worse, or which leads to a greater attainment or not, or quicker or slower. There's not a difference there. Where there is a difference is in terms of the individual student and their own unique karmic background. For them, as well as and related to that, the composition of their body in terms of their channels and wind energy and so forth. There is difference between the students. And this will mean that some are more suited to the practice presented in one meditation manual of a particular deity as opposed to another. But there's not a difference from the side of the meditation manual in terms of the deity or its practice, but because there is a difference in capacity as well as the physical construction of the body of the students, they may be more suited to one practice or another. And the time that one finds this out is in the process of initiation, when one is suitably qualified. Such a student is suitably qualified when in an initiation they place, I think it's called the toothpick in the mandala. It's a toothpick in the mandala, and it drops. Toothbrush, and
it's a toothstick, but it's what they use as a brush.
And
it's an old-fashioned.
And then you place it in the middle of the mandala, and it falls in one of the directions. And that then indicates your secret name and the deity in which one practices. And then to bring that to fruition, of course, one relies on your initiating Lama, and one follows his advice precisely.
구송 투수 유인된데 라마야 제치도 소와 대바체 당하는 저기 두스네 달라마디 랑게 라마디 이담 상기 차상교 뭐 라마 그런 뭐 인산비 토네 나가 소디 제다 아니 지금 디엔자다 라미기 투기를 방이기를 연된 디나죠쇼 삼백에 삼다에도 디디리네 소닝이 게죠 강투도 제다 안지기 디비 자와세 강유윤체기 두치는 배주시긴 삼백에 삼다 제가 주게 다 냠는 제야야 강투도 제야디 제고야 자고로 받아 된가 주던 된다닝 보디 디레다
이것은 이미 나서 Lama Chöpa 이름 삼아다 상기 참아 모치고
Lama Chöpa 시대다 Lama Chöpa 시대 수수기 Lama 샤고로 현대 Lama 지가 저기 뒤치 제고야 말와 수수기 Lama 디다시 마다 가서 대 수수기 Lama 사다 거로와.
Then just a brief summary of this verse, like with the others in the section. Here we are recalling the tremendous qualities and kindness of our Lama, and we're doing so within the context of recognizing that he is indivisible from all the Yidams and Buddhas. In essence, they are indivisible. And we do so to making supplications with the determination to strive to take the teachings that we are receiving and follow them, live in accordance with them, meditate on them, and cultivate them within ourselves continuously, in and out of session, repeatedly over a sustained period. This is the meaning of it. We are generating merit here, strengthening our mind, opening our mind, so as to become ever more determined to receive teachings, cultivate them, and thereby transform ourselves, arising with the self-same qualities as he has.
Oh yeah, I do wish to say that.
Some questions?
I just have a question about, it just seems this verse is very similar to the requesting prayer for Georgia that Lama Chöpa sort of, sometimes advises that we include in the Guru Puja, for special things. And it's, it has the word kundu, or embodiment or presence, so the embodiment of all the Buddhas and embodiment of all the Yidams and embodiment of all the Lamas. Is that, are we actually talking here about...
Can you keep that page there?
It's on the Lama Chöpa. It's Kushidani, requesting prayer from Georgia.
Okay. Just hold on a second, because again, we'll need to listen, because I don't have that. Georgia.
Kushidani Lama Tuisha. Kushidani Lama Tuisha.
It's got this word kundu that they translate as embodiment, so it just seems like that's very similar.
Is that similar to what we had with the Omniscient Exalted Transcendental Wisdom?
Yeah, arising, so they've got arising from the place. So that's similar to embodiment or...
So say that symbolically, please.
Kundu.
Kushi kundus.
Then kushi kundu dedan kunkun yeshi rupale chuma didan shiba.
Tada kushi kundu sedi doyika ni chorju, doyika pishigore. Tada kunshi rupale chuma sedi ngayi kwa kishiyore. Tada di chorju ka sedi kundu sedi kushi sedi nga zoge karsola zhugu, longu, onyu yeshi choku kushi. 다 라마디 디쿠시 다니잖아요. 쿠시 군 차상기 라미 오래서지. 라마디다 쿠시보다 오 열매래서. 제사디 라미 오래서 쿠시 군주사 디시고래.
So the Geshe is written from the perspective of Sutra. This is from the perspective of Tantra, so the terminology differs. Here it's referring to being the embodiment of the four bodies of the Buddha.
But it goes on, it says, it starts with the four bodies of the Buddha, but it goes on, and it's every line it sort of says, every 2 lines it says, the mighty one Vajradhara, and then it says, the embodiment of all the Lamas, the embodiment of all the Yidams, the embodiment of all the Buddhas, the embodiment of all the Dharma, the embodiment of all the Sangha, the embodiment of all the Dakamakinis, and the protectors. So it sort of seems to be...
다데데 나주게 연된 라메게 다데 연된 죄배던 기시로와 다데 가서 디시도 Lami Gushi Kasa to be Tomba Nyamba Shaba and Pagma Truya, Disu Duba, Jana, did some Nana, Disum, China, Dugre, chapter 2, or Essashura. That Dina de Dare, that the Kushi Sanji Kushi, Laming or Kushi, Laming or Shiri, Chesada Dinibe. That was jelly that Kenny, Lama Kenny, and Kenny Carter Chicken, then as well Dobro Chagwadi, jelly, Lamy and the Juda, Duchene, Lamy, the Gajele, Lamigo Kushida, Kushina, Jack Power, the Carter Chicken, Lamy when the Jushi began, the Jubigate, this just a Lamy war as dying to come at
So there certainly is similarity, but especially when we come, I think, to the 53rd verse, Lama Yoma Idam, etc. I think it's the 53rd verse. So here in what you're reciting there, it's referring to all the qualities of the Lama that he is the embodiment of. So there is a tremendous similarity to what we're looking at, and then again will be when we come to the 53rd verse.
And it's also like the name that is often that His Holiness is referred to like Kundun. Is that related as well, like embodiment or?
Kan man nu säga konstant sådana Kundun? I mean, like sen pagire Kundun.
Kundun siglo Kundun.
Den är det jag kunde göra det. Den är den drop of the
Dele Nayom Kunyo Mare, that is the Kudun Seku. That is the Kun Sedi Tamal Gor, that the Kusedi Tamalagoma Shesmajan Supset Sherwad.
So the sound is the same, but it's different words, and the spelling is quite different. So the word that you have there means literally to be before the holy body. So it's not, we write it as kun, but it's actually spelled as ku, which is the honorific for body. And then the dun is to be in front of or before, because of the suffix of the second syllable. The first syllable ku, it says kun, but it's not kun, it's ku. But it's said kun, so hence we write it as kun. And the word you're reading from there, kundu, this du, is a gather together, is a gather together. Like, for example, this room in Tibetan is called an assembly hall. So we assemble here. It's called a dukang. So we assemble here, and then that is the du from the word you mentioned.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think then if it's kundu, then it would be like embodiment, all gathered together.
Yeah.
Which then adds embodiment.